This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? Business software is expensive, and when you buy software from lots of different companies, it's not only expensive, it gets confusing, slow to use, hard to integrate. Odoo solves that, because all Odoo software is connected on a single affordable platform. Save money without missing out on the features you need. Odoo has no hidden costs and no limit on features or data. Odoo has over 60 apps available for any needs your business might have, all at no additional charge. Everything from websites to sales to inventory to accounting, all linked and talking to each other. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It gets a lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever TP leaves behind on your behind. It's time to stop being an a-hole to your b-hole and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes. Best clean, pants down.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Asian.
Join KFAN's Eric Nordquist at Rally House in Maple Grove this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. First 100 in the door Saturday will receive a scratch-off good for up to a $500 gift card. And make sure to secure some KFAN swag while registering for your shot at a $1,000 tailgate bundle. That's 1 to 3 p.m. this Saturday at Rally House, Maple Grove. Get the full details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 pastime comedies tend to be. The legendary Mark Rosen is here as well. You just heard the Golden Gopher Minute with Mike Grimm. It's a Cal 9:30 this Saturday night. At the State Fair, you predicted the Gophers would win that game, and your logic was because they beat two California teams last year, they would be in this year. Most people say, well, they look at the offense, defense, special teams.
No, why would I do that?
But you just basically say just because we were successful against California teams last year.
Why not?
Do you think we're going to win on Saturday night?
I haven't really changed my mind. I know nothing more about California than I did at the State Fair. I mean, I watched some of their first games, so I know they got a gunslinging left-handed quarterback who's young too, and they got some good talented players. I'm not gonna.
Would you compare him more? Is he more like Kenny Stabler or more like Jimmy Zorn?
Jimmy Zorn.
Okay.
Yeah, Stabler was more of a swashbuckling.
He was indeed.
He was
one of my favorite quarterbacks when I was growing up.
You're one of those guys that would, and I know there was a famous shot of. I think when they were playing the Vikings in the first Super Bowl the Vikings were in, when Len Dawson, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, they had a shot of him at halftime, smoking a cigarette,
having a heater.
It was just a classic shot, wearing his uniform. And you think about Kenny Stabler, he'd probably have a fifth of Jack or something going.
You think so? Are you accusing him of being an alcoholic, Mark?
No, I'm accusing him of enjoying his bottle of whiskey or whatever. Right. He was that kind of a guy. But those were the Oakland Raiders. No, Jimmy Zorn was more of a. He was a great passer, and Steve Largent.
Good player. He was a good
Steve
player.
Largent was his number one receiver, and even when the Vikings were in their glory years with that great defense they had, Jim Zorn, when the rare times they'd play Seattle, would give them fits. Zorn and Largent, they gave a lot of teams fits. So I don't know much more about this California quarterback. I know that PJ says all the right things about preparing for this game and the body clocks and practicing at night and everything else, but I don't know what Darius Taylor's situation is. We probably won't know until Saturday night. That would be a loss for the Gophers. They got some depth at the running back position, but we all know that PJ still, first and foremost, wants to run the football, and he's, without question, their number one running back, one of the best in the Big Ten. So if he didn't play, that potentially could kind of change the outcome of the game. He could have that kind of an effect. But, I think it should be, after watching a, exhibition game last week, it'll be fun to see real competition and playing on the road, their first test on the road, and, against a fairly good team. So.
Did Mark Rosen just say he watched Golden Bear football this year? What a fraud. Would you like to respond to that? He doesn't believe you watched it.
I watched a quarter of it. No, I did. It was on TV, their first game. I don't remember who they played, but I saw that kid play. Well, I don't know his name. I mean, he was, I think he was a transfer or something, but good arm. Yeah, I watched him play. Right. Why would they lie about that?
To make you seem like you're
I would just say I've never seen him play a second.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm just trying to explain what he was probably thinking.
I watched.
You're the fraud father.
I have not seen pretty much any of the other teams on the West Coast. I haven't seen one play from Oregon this year. How's that?
What do you think of Castellano?
He's their quarterback.
No.
I don't know. Who's Castellano?
He's a quarterback for Florida State. They had the upset where they were 2-10 and only won 2 games last year. They upset. Who did they beat again?
Alabama.
That's right. I think that's exactly right. I watched that game. I watched almost the entire football.
Wow.
I've watched more college football in the first 2 weekends of college football than I have in probably a decade. I don't know. Well, Deuce is into it now. He's into college football. He likes watching Nebraska. Pete's got the Ohio State University.
Texas,
so I find myself, get my yard work done, kick open the windows. It's a nice breezy afternoon. I'm watching a lot of football.
There were a lot of great matchups.
You were out of town. I think you were in the wilderness again.
I may have been. But the first weekend was a lot of good matchups, obviously. Last weekend, not so much. We had a lot of the type of games the Gophers played. I think Deuce even said Nebraska played, or they play one of those teams this weekend. And that's always the case. Now we're kind of getting back into the norm and more in getting the conference play and more, better matchups, and that's the way it should be the rest of the year. But yeah, it's fun. It's, football, college football, with all its growing pains because of NIL and the transfer portal, it still holds a great deal of interest around the country. And I think because of the expansion of the college football playoffs, it gives more teams hope that they have a shot. And, Indiana did it last year. The Gophers are hopeful of getting in that conversation maybe as soon as this year, but it helps than just having the same old. It's going to be, Ohio State and Alabama or whomever, it's just the same teams pretty much. So, it's fun to watch. And then you get the pros playing and great kickoff weekend in the NFL, and it starts again tonight with Washington at Lambeau. The Packers get to open the season with 2 games at home. And then we go on from there all the way through Sunday night.
What do you think of tonight's tilt between? Let's talk about the other side of the break. Let's take a break because you get a little long-winded.
I do. I follow your lead.
You could just be going on and on about
who does that?
The Packers.
Oh my God!
And the next thing you know, we're at 2:20. We missed the break, so we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some Commanders, Packers, a number of other items I'd like to get to as well with the legendary Mark Rosen. 10 to be in common here on the Fan.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? Business software is expensive, and when you buy software from lots of different companies, it's not only expensive, it gets confusing, slow to use, hard to integrate. Odoo solves that because all Odoo software is connected on a single affordable platform. Save money without missing out on the features you need. Odoo has no hidden costs and no limit on features or data. Odoo has over 60 apps available for any needs your business might have, all at no additional charge. Everything from websites to sales to inventory to accounting, all linked and talking to each other. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
It's finally happened. Your kid could be part of the first generation to never suffer the rough touch of toilet paper on their tender tush. All thanks to new flushable Little Dude wipes, available in bubble bum scent or fragrance-free. Because we know little butts can make a big mess, but with Little Dude wipes, you can keep your kid's keister clean without the burn and debris toilet paper can leave behind on their behinds. Experience the confident clean of Little Dude wipes, available exclusively at Walmart nationwide.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance. It keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/iHeart. That's greenlight.com/iHeart.
The power trip.
Oh, they're so much fun.
They're headed back to the island. Join the guys at Treasure Island September 18th and 19th for 2 shows and parlay full of games, tons of laughs, and great prizes, including 2 trips to Las Vegas with the show in October. Use promo code KFAN when you book your stay to save 20%. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
I said this before, Tennessee, and maybe you're just going to have to change the vibe on your own. Not tons of laughs, tons and tons and tons of laughs. Not just tons. As the person who wrote the vibe, never listened to the Power Trip Morning Show. Now they do everything big.
I would say an infinite amount of laughs.
I would say an infinite amount of laughs. You'll laugh so hard your side will ache, your heart will go pity-pat. It will be like watching Felix the cat. Commanders, they had some struggles with the Giants a little bit there before they pulled away late, and the Packers dismantled the Kitties. The Packers at home tonight at Curly. Who do you like in this game, Mark? I think the Pack is back.
Well, they certainly are right now, and I mean they went from it's overreaction week 1. It's a natural thing where you overreact to either a really good performance or not so good performance.
Are you overreacting?
No, I think Green Bay is legitimately really good, and I think getting Micah Parsons is just it's a boost to everything involved with that team. I mean, it sends the message that they're in it to win it right now, to win the title. They got Jordan Love is I think is getting better. It looks like they've improved their wide receiving core. They got some good running backs. They have a really, really good team.
Really good coach, underrated, I think, too.
Yeah, LaFleur is very good, and they're playing at home tonight. I would definitely give Green Bay the advantage. Jaden Daniels, a ton of fun to watch, and I think you guys were talking about it among the heralded rookie quarterback class last year. You got to put Jaden Daniels right now at the top of that list, and he proved it last year and got his team close to the big game, and he's really cool under pressure. I love watching him. He's got a really good head on his shoulders, and so it should be for again Thursday night game. Can't ask for. I mean, I'm sure the weather's great. Lambeau. I mean, they're. I saw
Who do you like?
Green Bay.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I like Green Bay tonight. I mean, I don't think necessarily it's going to be a one-sided affair. They're
I don't either.
3-point favorites, and Washington will give them fits in a lot of ways. I think Daniels is so explosive, but that's a fun game tonight.
Who do you think is more important for which team needs a good quarterback performance? Do you think it's Washington or do you think it's Green Bay?
I think.
I stole that from ESPN.
Did you really? I think Washington, because I don't think their team right now necessarily is as good as Green Bay's team right now. Although Washington is a proven commodity, and they should be, along with, they're trying to chase down the Philadelphia Eagles. Even when Dallas can try to rise up and be a competitive team, but it's really kind of a 2-horse race right now between Philadelphia and Washington. So I wouldn't be shocked, of course, like anybody else, if Washington won that game. But I think Green Bay is feeling their oats, and they looking for their second straight win at Lambeau before they go on the road. And I think Daniels has got to be better, because I think Green Bay's got a better supporting cast maybe overall at the moment, but pretty much a toss-up.
Yeah, but I think Jaden's better than Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, probably the most important position in sports.
You're right.
Let me ask you a controversial question for the both of you.
All right.
That's interesting.
Who do you think the most underrated quarterback is in pro football?
Most underrated?
No.
Well, I think Tenna's guy you talked about, and I know he's underrated, but I think Herbert is, to me, is as good as anyone at times.
I think it's the guy that used to live at Cleveland Stadium. I think it's Mayfield.
No, it's not a bad choice.
I like him.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
You're right.
This is not to say I think that I would, do everything I could to trade for him or sign him. I think he's the best in the league. I just think he makes plays. He doesn't always make the best. I like the way he plays.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems like he plays.
No.
I don't know if it's with a chip on his shoulder or what it is.
Reckless abandon.
I like the way he plays.
But under control. I think he's a winner. I think Baker's really matured over the years. That'd be a good choice.
How about you, Tenneby?
I'm just trying to look at the list of starting quarterbacks right now. I don't know how many I would say are underrated.
Underrated.
I think even you mentioned Herbert. Like I thought past seasons Herbert was overrated, and I thought he kind of won me over by his week 1 performance. He looked like a different player and just maybe had different weapons with him. But in terms of underrated,
boy,
I'm curious to see Penix Sunday for Atlanta because we've seen just very little of him at the end of last year. Against Tampa Bay, he played well in the fourth quarter and gave them a chance to win the game. Unfortunately, they missed the kick.
Yeah.
But he might be one of those guys as, a little bit of a riser on the list. And I guess we'll see more of him up front here at US Bank Stadium.
There's some very good quarterbacks in the league. And then there are, Russell Wilson past his prime.
Well,
the Giants.
Maybe not. Maybe a tough game.
But
it's tough playing for the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, they don't have a great supporting cast. But
I know people want to write Wilson off, and right. He's closer to the end than he is to the beginning. But I don't think if you put Jackson Dart or Danny DeVito in, that's going to change their fortunes that much. I just don't think the Giants have a lot to work with.
I think with Russell, he's never been a guy who gets the ball out right away. And back earlier in his career when he was in Seattle, he just seemed a little bit more mobile and can get away from some things. And now he just still has the same process with his thinking, yet maybe doesn't have the athleticism to sit in the pocket and get away as long as he used to. So he just, against the Washington, he just kept holding on to the balls. Get rid of the ball, man. You got to throw it.
I know it's only 1 week, but I really still believe, and that game was spectacular last Sunday night, but I don't see anyone catching up to Baltimore and Buffalo this year. Those two teams are just a notch. Yeah, I still think even though Baltimore lost the game, I think that's the best team in football. I think Lamar, they're big 12-point favorites this week, but I wouldn't take them in spread swing. But although I still think they'll probably win by 20. I just think those two teams are just a cut above. I think Buffalo wants it badly. Baltimore wants to get back, and that was, I think, a preview potentially of a AFC Championship game. God, they're fun to watch. Both those teams.
I wouldn't write off. I would tend to be on the Chargers. I think the Chargers
they're fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're going anywhere. They'll make the playoffs. They'll win that division out in the West.
You think?
I think they're going to win the division.
Yeah.
Tenneby and I've always kind of rolled our eyes, shrugged our shoulders, and shook our heads when everybody kept predicting San Diego was going to be really good. Eventually, it's got to happen, and they do seem to. And you're right, there's the overreaction on week 1, but I like the way they played. And then you can't write off Kansas City. You're right. Baltimore and Buffalo look like the most well-rounded teams, but
I think Kansas City is going to start the season behind the 8 ball. They've already lost. I think they're going to lose to Philadelphia this week. If they ever get healthy in their wide receiver core and get Rashee Rice off of suspension, because Rashee Rice is their best receiver. Mm-hmm. Xavier Worthy's their second best receiver. Like Travis Kelce ain't the guy he used to be, so they need to have another one of those guys. I do think second half of the season, Kansas City might emerge a little bit if everyone is healthy and off suspension at that time.
What's the wager we have? I got
Kansas City versus Denver.
Oh, that's right. I got Denver.
You like that Denver?
Right now, I'm cheering for the Chargers to win the division.
Yeah, I know. Denver didn't look good last week. They won, but they were.
You love them though. You thought they were going to be dominant.
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to get better and better. They did not get off to a good start last week.
I challenged you on that, but you stuck to your guns. I like this Denver team.
I think Tennessee might be a little better than people think.
Really?
I think they played them pretty tough. Mm-hmm. My source, I didn't watch the game, but my sources tell me Cam Ward, his numbers looked awful in that game, but that he played a lot better than the numbers looked. Basically, receivers weren't catching passes, and he was making big-time throws, but it wasn't working.
Yeah, I saw, again, it was an ESPN thing on the screen up here, and they were talking, I don't know if it was labeled most impressive first-week performances by quarterbacks or blah, 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 but they had Herbert at number 1, Fields at number 2, and he did play well.
Yeah, there's some good quarterback.
Then they had Ward at 3, Stafford at 4, and then Geno Smith at 5. That's what they had rated. The most impressive performances.
They were impressed by Stafford's?
Yeah, they were.
And the 14 points they scored?
But for some reason, they were impressed. It's not always so much. Sometimes it isn't so much points. But yeah, that's the best way, I guess, to generate. But sometimes it's you're playing a tough defense, how you go about it. But yeah, well, that's why I just went to that. I didn't hear any explanations for it. I just saw it when it was up on the screen.
I know you probably have to take a break right now.
Or yeah, well, you got something controversial.
Well, I just say I think we got to reiterate what's going on with the Vikings injury report.
Ooh, that could be controversial.
Yeah, there's lots of movement happening right now.
All right, so we'll do that on the other side of the break. One more segment to go here on the Common Man program with Mark Rosen, 10 to be in common here on the Fan.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? Business software is expensive, and when you buy software from lots of different companies, it's not only expensive, it gets confusing, slow to use, hard to integrate. Odoo solves that because all Odoo software is connected on a single affordable platform. Save money without missing out on the features you need. Odoo has no hidden costs and no limit on features or data. Odoo has over 60 apps available for any needs your business might have, all at no additional charge. Everything from websites to sales to inventory to accounting, all linked and talking to each other. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
It's finally happened. Your kid could be part of the first generation to never suffer the rough touch of toilet paper on their tender tush. All thanks to new flushable Little Dude wipes, available in bubble bum scent or fragrance free. Because we know little butts can make a big mess, but with Little Dude wipes, you can keep your kid's keister clean without the burn and debris toilet paper can leave behind on their behinds. Experience the confident clean of Little Dude wipes, available exclusively at Walmart nationwide.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
If you eat too many ultra-processed foods, you could be starving your gut microbes, and they'll get hangry. That's one of many things I learned after working on a new audio course about the gut microbiome. You can learn how to keep your gut happy by listening to Try This from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn. I host Try This. Dig in with me on practical advice for life's common challenges. Follow Try This right now wherever you're listening. Seriously, try it.
Want a chance to win a Vikings away game trip for 4 to the November 23rd game in Green Bay?
Yeah, tell me more.
This could be your year. Visit the Minnesota Lottery booth at the Vikings Kickoff concert on Sunday, September 14th before Russell Dickerson takes the stage to enter. Minnesota Lottery must be 18 or older to play.
That sounds like a heck of a time. I want to try to win that and show up with some friends. I'm Comedy's 10 to be Mark Rosen here as well. Vikings injury report. Yes. What do you got?
Well, there's some updates, and Brian Flores just spoke to the media.
He did?
Just a short time ago.
What did he say?
Well, I mean, there's a possibility. I'll just kind of rattle them off here. Jeff Okudah, concussion protocol right now, cornerback number 3. That means that, according to Flores, Dwight McLaughlin would be the next man up. Harrison Smith is still, I mean, we'll see. I just in my own personal opinion, I think it's still doubtful that he's going to be in football shape to play. So that's yet to be determined.
Do we know what this?
No, he has not revealed it, because it's a personal health issue. It doesn't have to be listed on the injury report. So it's just Harrison Smith's personal business until he decides otherwise. But he spoke briefly to the media yesterday. Andrew Van Ginkel is also on the concussion protocol and has been, and that his status is unknown. If he doesn't go, that means Dallas Turner will probably get, the lion's share. And he played pretty well Monday night.
He had his moments.
Yeah, he did, but I think he's the next man up. We already know that Blake Cashman and Ty Chandler are already on IR for 4 weeks. CJ Ham still got a couple more weeks to go.
Weeks.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah, Cashman had that injury last year, and fortunately they got Eric Wilson now, and he'll step up and play.
Without Eric Wilson, we lose that game, according to Kevin O'Connell.
Well, he might be right. So let's see. Did I cover all of them? Okudah, Van Ginkel, concussion protocol. Darrisaw looks like he'll be back. That's great news. And fortunately, they have the rookie coming back in the backfield too. what's his name? I can't think of the kid's name. Miles Price played real well last week, which was great. I love seeing the kick returns again. I mean, I know that the league was so set on, listen, guys get hurt, they get concussions. Speaking of concussions, we got to almost eliminate the kickoff. And they're booming. 95% of the kicks are going through the end zone, and now all of a sudden they're penalized if you get the ball, to 40, and so now or 35, and so now you get, like Miles Price, they get to see kick returns again. So I think that's a good thing for football again.
Denby, can you do me a favor real quick? Could you research this? What was the average length of the kickoff return week 1? Average length. The reason I bring that up was when it was last year's rules, and it was if you kick it out of the end zone,
right,
the other team gets the ball at the 30.
Right.
Now it's 35. Yep. Apparently that's a huge difference according to the people that play and coach the game. I was always of the opinion, if I was the kicking team, if I was the coach, I would want them to return it every single time. I think there's a greater chance I can stop them inside the 30 than they're going to get past the 30. Right. Plus, you increase your opportunity to force fumbles. Now, I know the danger is if a guy turns into AP and he's loose, well, then you could give up a kickoff return. I get that. So you are playing with fire there. But I've always thought this, kick it out of the end zone, give them to him at the 30. I always thought I'd rather try to force a fumble or especially if I feel like I have a really good tackling specials team, I would want them to try to stop them from getting to the 30. Does that stat exist?
Yeah. Last season, the average was 29-yard line for the entire season. Week 1, the average drive start after kickoff return was the 29.5-yard line.
No difference. How about that?
But they're going to kick more because now if you kick in the end zone, it goes to 35. So
yeah. And I think just
which I get, but what I'm saying is if the average was the 29, it was just like starting at the 30-yard line anyways.
Right.
So it was just like a kick to the wash. So my point is, I still I guess I got a lot of Dan Campbell in me. Go for it at 4th down, kick the ball, take my chances. Yeah, they could return it for a tutty, but more than not, I think you're going to keep them inside the 30 and you can force a fumble. And now at the 35, you really do. That will increase the teams that will want to let them return the ball because 35, there is a difference between 35 and 30. Now, I know it's just 5 yards, but I think I heard one of the talking heads say that's basically 2 first downs and you're in field goal range.
I know we don't talk about the special teams all that often. You bring up a very good point about the return game and why the guys who are fighting for jobs to stay on this football team end up playing special teams. Years and years ago, the guys who were on special teams were the guys who stayed on the field. And because they were the best tacklers, so they would stay on the field and play defense. I think the Vikings situation, obviously, Reichert, that was a tremendously impressive kick, that 59-yarder at Soldier Field under any circumstances on that turf.
I think it tied the stadium record.
I think it did. I think there has to be some concern about Ryan Wright, the punter. He just has not looked not nearly as consistent as he was a couple of years ago. So I don't know what their thought process is.
Are you hearing anything from Karn?
Not about that. No.
Okay.
We just discussed dinner tonight.
Oh. Let me guess. Tilapia?
Oh. You're right.
Yeah.
We had.
The two of you love to eat fish.
Well, we do. We were just talking about eating healthy and doing all the right things, and we had a friend in town. She had a good girlfriend in town.
Do you prefer fish over beef?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm beef over fish every time.
Well, I don't eat nearly as much beef as I do. And steak is, you just talk about steak is good for you. And
good old burger.
It gets a bad rap sometimes, but no, I'll have, we had a steak from,
and I'm the king of filet.
Farm.
And I'm the king of filet. London broil.
London broil, yeah.
I serve it up every day. I'm a fan.
Yes, you do. And you get paid for it accordingly.
Yeah, it's really fun. Well, I actually get paid more than London broil's worth.
Yeah, you sure do.
I'm getting the better end of the deal.
No, we had salmon last night, and now tonight we used the old air fryer for tilapia. I like eating fish.
Help me here on this.
Okay.
This Kawhi Leonard thing and the
I wish I could.
no-show endorsement jobs. Now, if I understand this correctly, it's allegedly, if it really went down this way, a way to circumvent the salary cap and the second apron and all that. So it's like have Leonard do some endorsements for other companies and they pay him large sums of money. But the interesting part is no show endorsement. So if I read it correctly, whoever was, I think it was Leonard's uncle, was the guy that was facilitating all this, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly. And he said something to the effect he would tell the people, well, yeah, he wants an endorsement, but he doesn't want to show up and do anything for it. So in other words, he wants to endorse a car wash, but he doesn't want to go there and watch people wash cars and sign autographs. So it was a no-show endorsement as a way. Now, it'll be tough for the league to prove, I think, from what I've read. But if it is, and then I wonder how often this has really been going on, because I've talked about this before, how easy it would be for, owner A and superstar player A, and you go to you bring them in and you go, we need to keep salaries down so we can put players around you. I've got a great job for you when you retire. About 3 years after your retirement, I'm going to make you executive vice president for my widget company.
Right.
And you go, okay, that sounds like a good deal. And the guy's a man of his word. So 3 years after your retirement, suddenly you give this guy an executive job that's paying him $50 million over 3 years or whatever. And you can say, well, it has nothing to do with football. I hired him to do something else. I wonder if that's gone on before, if there are players that have actually cashed checks like that. We've just never known.
Hard pressed to believe that it hasn't happened. The thing that, and this is that Pablo Torre is a reporter who found out that Leonard had secretly signed this $28 million
He's got
contract.
a show called Pablo Torre Finds
Out. Yeah. So $28 million contract for a no-show job with aspiration. And Commissioner Adam Silver weighed in on it for the first time, and he said, let the investigation run its course. But he also said that if the investigation finds that cap circumvention did occur, he, quote, would have the ability to impose significant punishments. Glenn Taylor, are you listening? I mean, we all know what that's like. That was David Stern, of course, but he says, my powers are very broad. I have a full range of financial penalties, draft picks, suspensions, et cetera, I have very broad powers in these situations. So you bring up a good idea that, yeah, this probably has happened, but, So Silver said, I'd never heard of a whiff of anything around an endorsement deal with Kawhi or anything else around an engagement with the LA Clippers, so it's all new to me. Man. And Leonard also signed another contract with Aspiration for $20 million in stock. The Clippers, of course, have denied any wrongdoing. But you bring up a great point. You wonder, what's to prevent any of this from happening? And I got to believe it has happened.
Unless there are, a specific
music
rule,
deals.
But I don't know how that deal could be that, I may be doing it on the front end, but if like I say, let's say you were playing for you kept it hush hush. The owner just said, I'm going to hire you to one of my companies when you retire. And even if it's just as an endorsement, no-show guy, right? You just say, I want you to represent my company, do commercials for it. Let's say owner of the football team owned Kentucky Fried Chicken or Taco Bell, and you started doing commercials. And really, yeah, that's what you're getting paid for, but you really weren't. You were getting paid for your football, but who's to know?
Well, yeah, Glenn Taylor could have signed one of his players, Ricky Rubio or something, to a $30 million contract to work doing wedding invitations. That he made his money on over the years. Is that illegal? I don't know. But circumventing the salary cap, there's got to be strict rules about all that. I think you can't do that stuff without having a job. It doesn't pass the smell test.
Twins,
are they still playing?
Spiraling out of control. Yeah. They, quick refresher, 2023, they made it to postseason play for, they were 0-18 in their previous 18 postseason games. It was the longest streak in North American major men's four sports. They broke that. They beat Toronto, and then they lost to Houston. Fan base gets excited, team gets excited, and then the poll ads announced we're cutting payroll. Right. Everybody's annoyed. Then we saw what happened now. Story, Fish Wrap Factory on September 6th. Headline, Phil Miller story. Biggest mistake for Twins. Joe Ryan laments decision to let Sonny Gray walk away after the 2023 season. He says, I wish Sonny was still here. I feel like things would be different if he was. In my opinion, that goes letting him go. He wouldn't sign here. It says, the paragraph says, the Cardinals eventually signed Gray to a 3-year contract that guarantees him $75 million with a team option worth more than $30 million for 2027. The Twins were not serious bidders. Ryan said, in my opinion, that goes down as the biggest mistake we have made since I've been here. He wanted to come back. He loved it here, which I like hearing because all the Pohlad pocket protectors were saying, no, he doesn't want to be here. He wanted out. He didn't like the way he was handled. Now, is Joe Ryan the final word on this? I don't know. But, and some people could say, I've had people suggest after we talked about this, Tenneby and I talked about this thing was Tuesday, where, well, maybe Joe wants out. So badmouth the organization a little bit because maybe Joe doesn't want to be here anymore either. Why do you want to pitch for a team that looks like they're going nowhere for the next 2, 3, for the foreseeable future anyways, doesn't like they're going anywhere. He went on to say, there were a lot of avenues we could have gone down, but if we re-signed Sonny, I can guarantee you we would have been in the playoffs last year. We'd probably be in a better spot this year. He was a top-notch guy, a great pitcher, incredible competitor, great guy in the clubhouse. I learned so much from him. We missed him last year. Lopez said a lot of the same things. And I got destroyed when I said they should have signed Sonny Gray because people were saying, not worth the money. He doesn't want to be here. It's easy to spend other people's money. They were protecting the Pohlads. And look, Gray has not had the success with the Cardinals that he had in that year when he was a runner-up in the Cy Young voting. But you don't know that going into the following year.
No, you have to make the right overture.
And he may have... The whole situation may have been different had he stayed here. It was just another reason, though, why I think this organization continues to swim upstream without gaining much ground.
And Colin, this is nothing new. And I saw someone, I don't know how, in what context this interview that I did with Kirby years ago was put on social media, but I interviewed Kirby Puckett when he was talking about the Twins had traded Rick Aguilera. And Kirby was not mincing words. Here's their leader. Here's their inspirational leader. Here's your leading by example. Jump on my back. World Series, 2-time winner, saying out loud, I don't know what we're doing. Why we're trading our best relief pitcher. We're not getting it. He said, this can't go on and on. Anyway, I'm prefacing what summarizing what he said. But when Kirby Puckett spoke, people would listen. And here we are all these years later when Joe Ryan doesn't have that, that power in the clubhouse that, right now, the only ones I guess I could think of would be Byron Buxton, since he's kind of a Twin for life at the moment. But, it's the messaging that, I was talking about this with a group last night, by asking about the Twins, and I don't know what else to say. It's just, they're not good communicators under the best of circumstances. No one in the Pohlad family has that experience. I mean, if you don't have the people in the ownership that is comfortable doing that, then you better get someone who is. Dave St. Peter was for years. He's no longer the team president. He's kind of changing, moving off the organization, except in a advisory capacity. But you got to send messages. I mean, how can you send a message after this season to any fan out there who's still loyal for this baseball team that we're trying? You can't. And I know there's going to be a big labor dispute a year from now, and we're going to hear all about it, probably all next year. And there'll probably a lockout. But the Twins are got to either lift up their payroll or, hopefully get out of the business and get people in here who want at least try, at least to give the impression that they're trying to win. And yeah, I don't care how many good young prospects they have. And we know they have a bunch. It just doesn't matter. It's not going to make you, it will start over again and again and again. Without established players, you're not going to win in Major League Baseball. And who's going to get that message out there? Joe Pohlad, these limited unknown partners that they're bringing in, potentially the new ownership. But the messaging has got to be there, and you just brought it up. I mean, it's true. The messaging was awful after that 2 years ago, and they decided to go the other route.
I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
This is a scenario that I've concocted, and I want you both to respond to what you would see what happens. Vikings have a game Sunday night against the Falcons. September 21st, they host the Bungles.
Right.
September 28th, they face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is that a game is that Steelers game at Pittsburgh, or is that
Dublin?
Where's
Dublin.
it?
Dublin. Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy and his gal are expecting a child sometime in September.
Well, actually, what? I got breaking news on that.
No.
They had a C-section to make sure he would be able to go to Dublin.
J.J. McCarthy not at practice today. He's at a local hospital with his fiance as they await positive news and welcoming their new baby boy.
Mm. So then that answers the question I had, because what do you do if
I know
all
she
of a
was due
sudden,
pretty soon.
What if you, well, yeah, we all did.
Yeah, it's a little harder when you're across the pond.
I'm saying, of course.
What if, let's just play it out.
All right.
What if all of a sudden the week he's supposed to leave for Dublin, she says, I'm about to go to, does he go with the team and say it's faith, football, and family? Or what do you think he does?
Well, maybe they're doing the C-section now.
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
I think they were planning this all along. I don't know. It's their personal business. Who knows what but probably inducing and planning it that way was probably the way they were going to go. And he still could
for the game? So they're doing it because of football, you're saying?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's other personal health reasons.
Okay,
I have no idea.
Right.
I'm just saying that, to answer your question, it wasn't going to be that long. I mean, it sounded like she was due almost any day now or any week. So I think that, with 2 more games to go, it was going to happen, knock on wood, before they were getting ready to go to Dublin.
If they were going to go to Dublin and she was going to go into labor, would you have demanded he play?
No.
Okay.
Not in a million years.
How about you? Would you say he's got to go with the club?
Oh, no, you just play Brosmer.
Yeah.
Brosmer? How about Carson Wentz?
You just played.
Did you not see Brosmer in the preseason?
Did you not see Carson Wentz in the...
I've seen Carson Wentz, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be...
okay, well, I just thought I
threw it out there.
Right, I know, I didn't know that.
Can you imagine how pumped up he's going to be if they have that baby now in the next 2 days?
Here comes the reporter questions, though. How do you handle not getting a lot of sleep?
Yeah.
Well, KOC doesn't get a lot of sleep. We talked about that yesterday. It's the price you pay.
Now, it's a boy, you say? Does he call him O'Connell? Or what do you think he does?
Kevin?
You could use O'Connell as a first name.
Kevin! Home Alone. I don't know, but it's. I'm sure he's going to be one. He's your son's age. He's having.
Do you think? I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think you're in the running for Godfather?
No, I really have.
I think KOC might be
talking to. Right. Yeah, KOC might be. No, I ended with Joe Mauer. That was the end of my Godfather days.
And then you became the Fraud Father.
Yes, correct. Title I hold proudly. So, I mean...
What a week for JJ.
Maybe that would be, my goodness. This would be one for the books. Yeah, I'm sure his family's here and...
Having
just kids like that.
Having kids at 22, I can't even imagine.
No, I can't either. These athletes
are just different. I was smack dab in the middle of my Haight-Ashbury days.
I know.
Always good to see you. You'll be back on Monday.
Yeah, go Vikes. I guess I made my prediction. Vikings win. I think it'll be 27-20. I think Atlanta. I think Penix will light it up a little bit.
I think Penix shows why the Falcons drafted him. He's
two great young quarterbacks.
Can I make my prediction now?
Sure, so please.
You just made yours, so I wanted to make mine. You're stepping all over my touchdown.
I'm not at all.
I think Penix is going to light it up.
Okay.
But I still think the Vikings are going to win. Tennessee, you?
Former Vikings kicker, now Falcons kicker, Parker Romo, game-winning field goal for the Falcons.
Wow.
That's the only way Minnesota sports works.
That's controversial. We'll see you on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Tennessee, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit. Stick around, though. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon, but stick around. Big Ticket and JG are next year on The Fan.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? Business software is expensive, and when you buy software from lots of different companies, it's not only expensive, it gets confusing, slow to use, hard to integrate. Odoo solves that, because all Odoo software is connected on a single affordable platform. Save money without missing out on the features you need. Odoo has no hidden costs and no limit on features or data. Odoo has over 60 apps available for any needs your business might have, all at no additional charge. Everything from websites to sales to inventory to accounting, all linked and talking to each other. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
It's finally happened. Your kid could be part of the first generation to never suffer the rough touch of toilet paper on their tender tush. All thanks to new flushable Little Dude wipes, available in bubble bum scent or fragrance-free. Because we know little butts can make a big mess, but with Little Dude wipes, you can keep your kid's keister clean without the burn and debris toilet paper can leave behind on their behinds. Experience the confident clean of Little Dude wipes, available exclusively at Walmart nationwide.
Saks Off 5th is your secret to fashion's most wanted deals at up to 70% off. On the hunt for designer steals that'll turn heads and leave a trail of envy? Uncover Gucci, Valentino, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more, with new arrivals dropping weekly at prices too good to stay confidential. Luxe layers, statement boots, and tailored essentials from Saks Off 5th will put your wardrobe on the most wanted list. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for a style lineup you won't want to miss.